Hey all. This is first on the Lanyard series, Synergy X hitch system. I'm going with I'm finally settling on some stuff. Having the hitch on my rigging plate on my bridge was torquing the rigging plate way too much. It just was not doable. I'm back to basically a standard D-ring style, and then it can also be run single-ended. It's just more versatile. The Mighty Mouse doesn't work for everything. Obviously, with this the hitch tie here, the gate, for the gate to be able to open this way, so you can clip it onto your D. Um, you know, the hitch won't tie up on the Mighty Mouse. So I got a super safe oval here. Now the figure 8 and the bow line was something I came up with for down here to put on this daisy chain locker. Okay, so you can lock your daisy chain on the end of the hitch. But I didn't like it because it was slappy. So I started looking at some different knots. I did get a hold of open a dialogue with Alan Gregono of Grog Knots, and he's kind of looking at some of this stuff, is to what it evaluated. I guess the figure 8 and the bow line does have some properties to it that some of the other sling type, eyed sling type things don't have, and I guess I was going for that because it had the ability to take a load on this side. Okay, but now if you have something in here, okay, a double fisherman's won't pull out. Okay, but if you load one side of the fisherman's loop, it will pull out. Okay, but two, it cinches up on whatever you have in here. Well, I guess the whole thing is I've played around with some things. I'm away from the figure 8 and the bow line at this point for this part of the rig. And I was looking for something that had used the least amount of hitch cord. And the Hunter's Bend ended up being the thing. But it's kind of set to the side in Grog because it's difficult to untie. But in this situation, it's like you're setting up your hitch. It's something you're going to leave on your lanyard system until you determine that your hitch cord needs to be replaced. Okay, so the easiest way to tie this now, and two, they show the Hunter's Bend tied differently, but in this situation I'm tying around one of the incoming lines, or both of them actually. I'm tying around both of them. So the way to kind of get this, so you get it right every time, is you lay the two ends over the one coming in that loops through the little chain sinnet, lock, and you fold this one from this side over to this side over to this side around your finger, then go around the same side that each tail is on and through. Same on this side, around and through, and that uses the least amount of hitch cord. It's going to be the Synergy X Lanyard is going to be it's a two-part system. Okay, and it's pretty basic. I am going to experiment. This is kind of set. Okay, there's 12 foot of 7.5, and then I got brutal Brummel. I can get into the brutal Brummels. I had to modify my fids for that. You take the Samson aluminum fids are solid aluminum, and I haven't figured out a way to exactly to mark them so that I know what sides they are, but I can figure it out. And what I did is I basically, on a bench belt sander, I torpedoed them, basically reprofiled them, and then sanded them with wet dry paper down to a very fine polish, and that's how I do the brutals. There's some tricks to that. If somebody wants me to go over how exactly to do these brutals, bromals, I can do that, but let me know about it. And then I just lock stitch this back a little bit. Okay, and then on this end of the lanyard, I'm kind of doing this, and I'll pull out the chain here. I'm kind of doing this adjustable soft eye, where it's like it's a bowline, okay, and you're just lock stitching. The knot mechanics are really what gives it the back up there. So you don't have to do a whole lot of lock stitching, but enough to get it so that, you know, the knot mechanics come into play on it, you know, because, you know, that's the thing, is that then that splice becomes non-critical to a certain degree, and it doesn't have to be, you know. But the thing is you can push this, and you kind of got this adjustable soft eye, which is also a stopper for the system. Okay, and then too, when you start your chain sinnet, it's right there. You can just start right into it, you know, just like that, and you start running it. And then this, of course, will lock it at any point so that it doesn't pull out any further than you need it to. And then the hunter's bend, like I said, over the top of the thing. I did also contact Tree Imagineers, and to tree stuff, you know, they offered to do free brake testing for me, and I basically, you know, it's all open source stuff here. You know, hopefully I get some feedback. You know, hopefully there's a few people that pick up the system and experiment with it. You know, I guess the reason I contacted Tree Imagineers and the reason I contacted Tree Stuff is because there's a certain degree of access to test equipment and facilities that I don't have there. You know, Tree Imagineers has obviously done an excellent job with Teufelberger and DMM in putting together some of their systems, and I guess that's how I see the Synergy X hitch system coming out in the end, is somehow it emerges as a spec'd out textile hardware combination that, like the Teufelberger systems, is, you know, qualifies out in some way. Now, you know, if Tree Stuff wants to pick up the ball on that, or at least part of it, I guess I kind of opened it up as a sort of communal project, you know, and you know, there are people in industry and professionals watching these videos, and I have to apologize for going into such extreme detail with a lot of this stuff, but you know, I'm kind of trying to keep the videos wrapped up and short, but at the same time I don't know who's going to get a hold of these videos, and I am sure professional climbers understand that, you know, I don't mean to drag people through and make them suffer all these finer details and points on all this stuff, but you know, I don't want people to pick this up as a freeware thing and do something wrong, so I have to do that, and I'm sure they understand that. Anyways, that's the least amount of hitch cord right there, that and as long as there's something in there, it won't pull out. Okay, it's the same thing with the double fisherman's, you know, as long as there's something in there, it won't pull out. But this uses less hitch cord, and it's a little more compact, and I like that about it. That's one side of the hunter's bend over the doubled, and that's the other side. Okay, the tie, you know, with the finger, you know, you loop it around, and you got to get those so they're looping in opposite directions and come around the same side of the double line through. It's real simple, it's compact, and it basically acts the same way that a double fisherman's does. It's just a little less hitch cord, and you dress it up nice, and it'll do the job where it acts as a stopper for the and here too I have a 4-coil Voldatane truncated single truss VT, truncated VT into 2 helicals. So it's just kind of, I guess the thing with it is it's kind of gives it more of a progressive nature that I like, because it's a little bit more tactile, in the sense that this is serving as a sort of control for these, you know, so it's acting more progressively, and it's a little easier to actuate, and just in keeping the Synergy X hitch system kind of about the Synergy X, that's how I'm doing it, you know. And like I said too, the Synergy X hitch system is probably going to be cannibalized for elements, and I understand that too. I mean, it's not work, it's freeware. Okay. Anyways, that's the lanyard system with the micro Synergy X. You know, because there's the two, this could end up being, you know, being that it's, you know, just like a standard adjustable lanyard, this could be used single-ended, and I guess that's kind of the reason I went this way with it, because it could be used single-ended, you know, in that sense. And then you know, there isn't as much of a potential for shock load with a lanyard as a main climbing system, but it's still, you know, give it a little bit of, you know, shock relief, and then the stopper that makes, this is the thing, is you gotta have that stopper there to run a Synergy type hitch with this type of mount. Okay, that's a wrap.